Welcome back to The Trade. I'm Gina Beck.
This is Drew Williams.
Thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I appreciate y'all, especially the Apple podcast reviews. It really means a lot.
Yeah, thank you guys for the continued support, the continued engagement, and all the familiar names. Thank you guys again. So what's going on?
How are you doing, Drew?
I'm doing all right. How are you, G?
I'm good. I had a great vacation. It was a lot of fun. Now I'm back home, just been relaxing. Excited to get back into being on the podcast and talking with you. Let's just kind of jump into this. How about you take over?
All right, so we've covered him before. Apparently, Chris Hansen has sold the rights to the Onision story to Investigation Discovery Channel. And if that sounds weird, it's because it is weird. He has revealed in a report that came through a YouTuber named Rep Zion, who was the guy who really got Chris Hansen's YouTube channel to get I think it was 300, 400,000 views or something like that. He was only getting a couple thousand at the time. And that's when they broke, Hansen broke the Onision story. But apparently he has taken money. It's an undisclosed amount. At least I couldn't. I don't know if you found anything. I couldn't find anything on a solid amount of money that he's got. But he sold it to a channel, and it's not even his story. Not to mention that it's been covered by YouTubers for better half 8 years or something like that. What did you think about all that?
I think it's just strange. Didn't he promise a bunch of things for helping him with his channel?
I couldn't find what exactly he was promised. Maybe it was more spots. I don't really know. But he was promised other things, never followed through on that. But doesn't he's done this before to YouTubers before, just kind of jumped on their back and used them as a springboard. I mean, it kind of seems like
I'm pretty sure.
Kind of seems like something.
It's how he's grown his channel.
Yeah, the entire thing's weird, shady, really shady. I didn't realize how many financial trouble, because the article, we'll link it below too, that Rep Zion video that goes into it, and the link there, the article that he discusses. I didn't realize he had so many financial issues.
Yeah, didn't he file for bankruptcy? Wasn't $13,000 in debt and?
Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Or he's.
Yeah, he's gone up and down. I can't say anything. I've had financial issues too. I thought Chris Hansen was a lot more together than he was.
It just kind of explains, of course he would sell a story, if they're going to offer some money and he's been in so much financial issues, he's going to take it, most likely. I mean, people shouldn't be surprised. Maybe given the circumstance and what it's about, maybe they're surprised, but I'm not.
When I think of Chris Hansen, I just think of I don't know, it's obviously a character now. I thought he was a little bit more of a stand-up guy, and it just that's kind of cheap, bro. That's actually really cheap. I think one of the things he promised to multiple was he was going to prison, and I don't even think he's ever going to go to prison. I don't, because Rep Zion brings that up, that he's always rode this very fine line of what's legal and not legal.
Right. I forgot about that. I thought he promised that he was going to go to his house, which he did. So things were starting to look up, during that time, because he actually did go to his house and confront him. And then he actually did interview the people that he said he was going to interview. I just think that they're surprised that he actually sold the story. They're probably thinking he's a sellout and things like that.
Like I said, I think it just people are just a little more. I think they expected more from him, and he's no different than most people that get in those positions. Money always wins.
But what else could it? What else could have he have done?
Who? The Onision or Chris?
Chris and the Onision situation. What else could he have done?
I mean,
is he going to just talk about Onision forever? I mean, Onision made an OnlyFans. So Chris probably doesn't want to sit there and just talk about Onision living
That's
life,
a
making
that's a very
OnlyFans,
that's a
making
very
money.
valid point, a way to look at it. I mean, I didn't think of it that way at all, but I think just a lot of YouTubers feel slighted because I think they worked on it and they're so
And
passionate about
I totally understand. But I gotta play, I gotta
devil's
say some things that
advocate.
I haven't heard anybody else say. Yeah,
No,
advocate, and I haven't heard anybody say these things.
no,
So I gotta kind of like
it, it's a
put
good
yourself. I
perspective.
like to put myself in other people's. Yeah, good perspective. I like to put myself in other people's shoes. So put yourself in Chris's shoes for a second. If you think that, or if you know he's not gonna get arrested,
Yeah, in which Rep
unfortunately,
Zion even states in that he even talks about he's not going to jail. Like I
it's
think
just
that
going to be going in circles for months and years. And I mean, what's next on the list of Onision? Oh, he quit OnlyFans and is doing porn now. I mean, who knows? Like what? Like why would someone want to just talk about that? We all see it in the news headlines. There's other places to talk about those things. Chris is probably just like, take this off
done.
my hands. I'm out.
No,
I mean,
that's
what
it.
else can he do?
That's a good point. I mean, especially like, I mean, he can go do other things now. Now, granted, that's probably why people are bitter because he's getting a ton of attention now and his channel's blowing up. But in the long
And
run,
also someone in his position, he isn't a cop also, like just things that
he's a
we've dealt
TV
with. You
show.
can't just go up.
He's a TV
Yeah, you
show
can't just
host.
go up and arrest him. You got to rely on law enforcement to do their job too. So he's just the middleman in all of it, and it's just like
Well, I think people
you
have this.
want to blame someone, but you can't blame him. He if he could make the arrest, he would go make it, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just we all have a skewed impression of him because of the TV shows and stuff like that. We all assume he has a whole team behind him. Just like I mean, we understand and
No, but he doesn't have a whole SWAT team like he did on the
yeah, yeah,
TV show.
yeah.
They're not
Oh
just
no,
sitting
no,
they're
no,
not
no,
just
no,
sitting
no.
back there
No, he's
waiting
not a
on the
cop.
word.
No, what I was getting at is, I mean, he's essentially just a TV host. Really, is what he is. I
Hmm.
mean,
He's got an investigative team, or was that what it's called? Investigative team or investigation team or whatever. People that investigate all these things. You probably bring it to him for him to talk about. But yeah, he doesn't have the power
I
to
mean,
just
it
put
was.
people away and wish him.
I mean, you're.
Hopefully, maybe one day that can change, though. Maybe he can, just like what we all want, for us to become like a bounty hunter type and be able to make our own decisions based off of a list of things that we have that go into play, you know?
No, it's very. You made some very valid points. It's. I mean, people are really acting like. I mean, I get it. It's kind of shady. It's kind of cheesy to take money for it, but at the same time, Onision's a way bigger piece of shit. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
and I mean, he also put a lot of hours into making this as known as it is. I mean, there's a lot of things that he's done. I'm not mad about it. I mean, get your money,
it
do
is
what you
what
got
it
to
is.
do,
It's
but
not that bad.
don't drift from the situation though. Don't just okay, you got your money. Let's never talk about this again. Let's never shed light on this again, which I don't think Chris is the type to do that. I think that it's still a never-ending story. And I think that
He's a
things will always come up.
He's a walking train wreck.
So,
People will always want to see stuff. But no, you have a really good valid points on all of that. But that kind of takes me to something a little bit darker. And I know that you watched the video and read the article. June 6, 2020, Munster, Germany, which is Western Germany, 11 people have been arrested in three German states over alleged abuse of a 5, 10, and 12-year-olds. Their victims were drugged, then seriously abused for hours at a summer house. Suspects charged with child abuse, torture, pornography production, and possession. Seven of the suspects have been reprimanded into custody, including a 27-year-old man, an IT technician. He's been dubbed Adrian V. I couldn't really find anything on his real name, and his 45-year-old mother. The arrests were carried out in northern Rhine-Westphalia, Hesse, and Lower Saxony after police uncovered encrypted data from hard drives found hidden in false ceilings in a basement in Munster belonging to the young man. Investigators said more than 500 terabytes of data were seized from what has been converted into an air-conditioned server room. The main victim was a 10-year-old son of the partner of Adrian V. The 5-year-old was the son of another suspect from the town of Stauffenberg-Huss, and then their 12-year-old was the nephew of the suspect. The abuse was live streamed on the deep web, for an undisclosed audience and an undisclosed amount of time. Along with that, possession and production of child pornography has had a 65% increase in Germany over the last year. But the entire thing, I mean, you saw the pictures of the server room. I mean, it it's crazy how much time, because they were calling it his editing suite and stuff like that. It's pretty dark.
Yeah, and it was live streamed. I mean, are they able to trace the live stream and who was watching it and things like that, or no? Is that
I mean, I'm not a computer science expert, but I would assume those cybercrime divisions have the capabilities of doing that, but it's probably a matter of time. And then also how good the skills are of whoever is watching that, hiding their tracks. Because with like Onion VPNs and things like that, there's a lot of ways for people to hide their tracks. So I don't know. That's a good
true?
question. And
That's just scary.
the problem with Germany is there's not a lot of public records. Like the article I just read, they actually didn't list his name at all. There's a lot of things they didn't list. You had to find from like UK articles and American articles. So it'll be interesting to see
Hmm.
what actually comes to light, because they don't like to really talk about these things.
Well, I was looking at some things that were similar to what you were going to talk about, and I came across feds. They took down the world's largest dark web child porn marketplace, and this was just in Washington. Federal prosecutors filed multiple charges against a 23-year-old South Korean man accused of running what they would call the largest dark web child porn marketplace. There's tons of people that were a part of it. The now shuttered English language site called Welcome to Video contained more than 200,000 unique videos and almost 8 terabytes of data showing sex acts involving children, toddlers, and infants. According to the 18-page criminal indictment unsealed here Wednesday and processed, 7,300 Bitcoin transactions worth more than $700,003, which is a lot.
It makes you wonder if
That is insane.
the guy that I was just talking about, if there was like some international coordination to get this guy, because if that was like a large market for it, that guy would have been a distributor, I guess. I don't know what you would even call him. That's
Exactly. According to prosecutors, the vast online store was run by Jong Woo Sun, a South Korean citizen currently serving an 18-month prison sentence. Uh, 18 months.
that's all he's getting for it. Ugh.
Yeah, in his home country after his conviction on charges related to child pornography. The site operated from June 2015 until it was seized and shut down by U.S. authorities.
So, and he was
They had
running
a
that.
press conference about it.
He was running that from
Go ahead.
Washington State, right? You were saying?
No, it's Washington, D.C.
Oh, Washington D.C. That's a long time to be
They
operating.
held a press conference also, and the official said that 337 suspected users of the site had been arrested worldwide due to it.
It makes you wonder if the two are connected. I mean, it would be awesome if there's that much coordination going on.
Right? They said that almost half of the video seized were not previously known to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, and the Deputy Assistant Attorney General, Richard Downey, said there are many children depicted in these videos that have not been identified. Just scary.
It's scary and really sad. It's horrific, actually.
The site allegedly rewarded its members with points in relation to the amount of the illegal material they uploaded. Authorities announced that as well, and one user of the site, a former federal U.S. law enforcement agent, even downloaded more than 50 hours worth of videos. Sun was indicted on federal child porn charges in August, which remained sealed until just Wednesday. And there are more than 300 other suspects that have been arrested in South Korea and all over Washington and other places too. It's like worldwide.
Yeah, that's and you said that happened a few months ago. It really makes it sound like Adrian V might have been one of those people that they got. That's crazy,
Yeah, that's scary.
especially after seeing like knowing that.
And
Oh, I'm sorry. Knowing that that's here, also knowing how organized it was in Germany, it just makes you wonder if these are the dumb ones that got caught and if they're smarter ones.
yeah, all connected in some kind of weird way. And only like 18 months. Like, they need more punishment. That is so insane.
Yeah, that's sick. But I mean, that's the case with almost all of them. We never hear any of them unless they actually kill the child. It's pretty much the only time they get like what they deserve, which is either life in prison or the death penalty. But nope, 18 months, 3 months for rape, things like that.
I guess I came across a documentary and I sent it to Drew. It's called Family Secrets: My Father's Young Fiance. And when I watched it, it's kind of mm, just mouth dropping. Like how these young girls, I don't know, are just okay with it. Like
So
speak highly about it and like
this is
want to
like
be there. And I was just,
this is me not defending what's going on there, but if because I've been to the Philippines, if you understood the poverty that's there, I'm not making this as an excuse, but it's so fucking extreme. Like, though I do not like the way like so when I watched that, I was like, oh my young fiance, and I was like, that's a fucking 16-year-old girl. They're like, she's 23, and then they like spoiler alert, she's fucking 17 trying to marry a 70-year-old fucking man is fucking disgusting,
mm,
but it's illegal in the Philippines, and I would say the large majority of Filipinos are not okay with that shit. And that's why they had to go to Hong Kong to try and get the marriage and then his dad had to sign it over, but it was weird because watching his dad, you knew he knew it was wrong. You could watch the dad when he was signing those papers in Hong Kong, but at the same time he knew his that was probably her only chance at ever getting paid for schooling, and it's just like it was such a fucked documentary, like not in like a bad way. It's just like because he's living this like double life pretending he's a millionaire because the exchange rate of the US and Canadian dollar is so ridiculous over there. It's like I haven't looked it up, but last time I was there it was like 53 pesos to a US dollar or something like that. You can live like a king over in those areas, but that's the type of guy that's taking complete advantage of Filipino culture and staining what is such a beautiful, beautiful country. Like I don't know, I just that guy is gross, but at the same time, like I don't know what to say about it completely. It turned my stomach the entire time because I
it's just
haven't.
sad that, like, it's sad that people feel like they have to do that, you know?
It's sad
Does she
that
feel like she has to?
it's sad that poverty in those type of countries is that bad that that becomes a choice because
Mm-hmm.
I until you've been to places like that, I don't even think you can really describe what it feels like. Like like I haven't been to Cebu, but I've been to Pangasinan, which is in Luzon, which is in the main island, and I mean it's places I've seen that are identical the entire time, and the poverty is just that low. In the movie, in the documentary, she shows a house and she says something that is it's very much there. She's like, someday those are good people because they have a really nice house. My ex fiance had one of those style houses, and then she had uncles that lived in houses just like that little girl did, with dirt floors, chickens everywhere, things like that. And that's all you see in that country is extremes, is like extreme wealth or extreme poverty. There's very much not anything in the middle, and it's sad that I mean, look at the other places we've covered, like Gambia and stuff like that. I'm sure the poverty is the exact same way. I mean, like, I can't think of any other situation where a parent would even consider selling their children into that unless they're starving to death or something. I just, it's one of those sick horrors of the world that, like, nobody wants to talk about and everyone wants to act like it's black and white. Not talking racially, I'm just talking like simple cut and dry type of thing, and it's like so complex really the entire like I it's not right. None of that shit's right. I don't know what to say. Like I really it's not right. I don't think most Filipinos are okay with it, and I think it even showed in the father's eyes, like I said, when he's signing it over, but it's gross and wrong. That was a little girl with a 70-year-old man, and like the daughter says, she's like, he was having sex with like a 15 or 16-year-old because they'd been together for a while. It's like, that's really fucking gross.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. And it happens more than people think, not even just in places like that, like just in your own neighborhood or in a town outside from where you live, or,
Oh
it
yeah,
happens everywhere.
child brides exist in the United States. Not that hard to look up. You can probably do an episode on it someday. It's a real thing
Yeah.
everywhere.
And I think that we should just end it on that. And I think everybody that has made it up to this point, you should comment hashtag more punishment for predators. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Until next time, Banana Cats.
Banana Cats, much love. Peace.